We're live. Hopefully, you can hear me. And hello, Cathy. And it is just about a minute before we get started, actually, 2 minutes or one and a half. And we come every end of the month. So, February is a short month, it's the 28th. And we'll get started in a minute now. So, get your hydration, get a wall. You want to get by a wall, okay? And we will get started right at the top of the hour, or I'm sorry, at the half hour mark. Hopefully, you can see me. Obviously, I'm in a different location. Hello, who's over there? Um, we are wide eyed, and the sun is barely going to start coming up. So, there's not a lot of light where I'm at, but that's okay. We'll work with that. So, hopefully, you can hear me, and that's the most important thing. And seeing me. Hi, who's over there? Um, Hopefully you can hear me. And if you, unfortunately, I won't be able to answer questions once we start, but that's okay. So we got like 10 seconds now. Have a mat, get by a wall. No, other than a wall, that's all you need in your body. All right. And we will get started very shortly here. And we are ready. So, hello. It is our monthly or end of the month yoga clinic or flow. Today it's a flow. It's going to be short or shorter than usual. And we do want to be by a wall, okay, or at least something that you'll be able to prop your legs up on, okay, that's firm enough to hold them. So, Cathy Bettis here, you're a wellness coach, and I obviously also teach yoga. So, this is what I like to do for the crew that likes to hang out and subscribe. But I always start both my wellness weekly videos and also these yoga flows with what I like to make sure that we are all centered. So they're called From Positive Intelligence. Okay. I'm working towards certification to be a PQ coach, but positive quotient repetitions. Okay. So positive quotient repetitions. And it's a way to drop into ourselves, to recenter ourselves. Yes, I could obviously just, go into a yoga meditation, but this is a way for those who are unsure about yoga, right, to regulate their nervous system as well as stop the saboteurs in their brains from getting the best of them. So, we're going to be mostly on the ground today. In fact, we will be all on the ground today. So, this is where we're going to start. And what I'm going to ask you to do is just make sure, this sounds funny, but if you're sitting already, take the flesh from behind your bum and separate it, and then all of a sudden now you felt your sit bones. And it gives you a nice tall spine. Okay, you can have your legs cross-legged. It can be easy, whatever works for you. We're not going to be here all too long, but for sure, I want you to have a tall spine. Okay, if you're feeling safe, go ahead and close your eyes. And what we're going to do is we're going to listen. That's why I wanted you to close your eyes if you can. Listen to the furthest away sound you can hear. And just listen and notice. Now, listen to the closest sound you can hear. Now, I want to switch our focus. If you're able, go ahead and take some fingertips and then go ahead and start feeling something. Okay, it can be the mat, it can be the wall, something that's close to you. It could be your clothes. And use your fingertips and ever so slowly start to feel and notice what your fingertips are touching. What's the texture like? What's the temperature like? Is it making any noise? Now, go ahead, bring your palms together in prayer. And with the same type of intention, go ahead and rub your fingertips together, as well as the whole palm, and notice what you notice. Do you feel your fingertips? Or I should say your fingerprints. Go ahead and take your fingertips down one palm and then the other, and notice what you notice. Be curious. What do you feel? Are you creating friction or heat? Go ahead and stop. And if your eyes are closed, make them open. That, my friends, is what we call positive quotient repetitions, or PQ reps. Hopefully, okay, now it's early where I am, but if you've already been starting your waking hours, or maybe you're watching this later on, hopefully it puts you into a state of calm, right? And yes, yoga does that on its own, but this is a way to practice that, right? Without anyone noticing or anyone else noticing. Obviously, you can practice, pattern breathing as well, and that's also included in PQ reps. But for now, that's what we'll get done. So today, again, this is all about self-love. Okay, it's the end of February. If you are into the St. Valentine's, wonderful. If not, no worries. I don't really care. But self-love also is about heart health as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. So we're going to be on the ground. We're going to start in tabletop. Okay. So assuming this is going to work and you can see me. Yes, you can. All right. So tabletop. What I want to emphasize, okay, is your hands, all right? Whenever we are on our hands, and this is the point, because you guys are going to get tired quick. We want to be in tabletop, and our hands are really important. So always in yoga, you want to have your wrist underneath your shoulders, okay? Then one of the dual actions that I always talk about is for our hands. And our hands, okay, obviously they're shoulder width apart, okay, and your knuckles, okay, all the knuckles should be flat on the mat. And then the dual action is that your fingertips are spread, or the fingers are spread, and the fingertips are gripping your mat. This gives you a really strong base, okay? And for tabletop, you want your knees underneath your hips. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we want to just take our hips side to side. Okay. Again, this whole flow is going to be on the ground for the most part. So if you're able, go ahead and swish the hips. And we're warming up, okay, our hips for the wall. And yes, your hands may get tired, the wrists especially, but when you're using those dual action of your hands, you have a better time. Okay. Now we're going to go back and forth. And if you've never done this, then it's going to feel a little weird, but we just want to go from one side to the other really gently. This is all about self-love. Now we're going to go the other way. Always go the other way. Okay. And yes, I know your arms are probably getting a little tired. But also another dual action is that your forearms, okay, go ahead and stop. Your dual actions of your forearms want to feel like they're coming together, okay? And believe this or not, your upper arms should be feeling like they're trying to actually turn outward. That sounds really weird. But now if you did that, you can feel that your arms are really nice and strong. And that's what I want you to feel when I ask you to do the next thing. So what we're going to do very carefully, if you feel safe, only if you feel safe. If not, you can just keep going back and forth like this, okay? And that's fine. but we're going to take one hand and we're going to put it so that that the fingers are facing you, and then take the other one. And only do this, again, if you feel safe. What this is, again, this is about self-love, okay? So we want to give our wrist, but also our arms some love here. So that action that I told you about, the dual action of bringing your forearms together, right, energetically, and then the upper arms trying to face outward. This is why I want to do that. You should feel a nice tightening, and you should feel it right here. That's what we're trying to stretch. No one ever thinks about stretching your hands this way, but it's really, really quite functional, and it helps, okay, especially when we're in flexion all the time. Okay, very carefully, go one hand and then the other, okay? So now that we've done that, now we're going to counter that. So you're probably thinking to yourself, we should do this one first. No, I wanted you to feel all of this. You should feel nice and stretched, right? Now we're going to give our wrists a break because we were on them for so long. So this is a really fun, again, this flow is all about self-love. Okay, it's about being gentle with yourself. So you're going to put your hands in prayer, okay? And the whole purpose of my flows is to help you realize that yoga, right, it's all about putting your body into hopefully helpful positions that will give it strength, but also give it mobility. So your hands are in prayer, and what we're going to do is we're going to open from the inside out, and then we're going to go under, and then back into prayer. Now we're going to go the other way, okay? So the only way to do this is keep doing it fast. So we're going to, we went this way. Yeah, so we're going to go down, and now we're going to come back up and end in prayer. Now we're going the other way. Flip it down, away from you, and this, hopefully you can tell, is giving your wrist a much needed break. And this is something that you can do whenever you feel like it. Maybe you are, using your computer for too long. Maybe, maybe you were, who knows? But this is just a really nice way to give your wrist a lot of love, okay? And it's simple. So that's why I wanted us to get into tabletop first, so that you could feel the strain, right? Or at least the extra tension. And then when you do this, right, you can always run your wrist, but this is a really fun one. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into wide-legged child's pose. So child's pose, okay, is usually your knees are together, your feet are together, and then you bring your bum back, okay? So then your chest, right, can be on your hip, or rather your knees are holding up your chest. In wide-legged, okay, your big toes are touching, okay, and your knees go as wide as the mat, or wider if you wish, and you're still going back, okay, but in this case, you want to have your hands in front of you because otherwise you're going to face plant. So we're going to get a little primal here. We're going to move. And again, this flow is about slow, easy movements. It's nothing difficult, hopefully for you. But I also wanted you to get into wide-legged child pose because I want you to get your groin stretched a little, okay? And then now we're going to work on getting our back stretch. So we're going to take our right hand and move it towards the right. And then you're going to take your left hand, and only when you feel safe, right, you're going to move it towards the right. Now, if you can get it to the right, on top of the right hand, that's cool. But you can have it here, it doesn't matter. But what we want to do is really feel this lengthwise stretch in our torso. And again, we're still getting a stretch in our groin area, okay, in the inner thighs, which is what I want. And breathe. And I'm really tight. Okay. One more breath in. And exhale out. Go ahead and bring your hands to the middle. And when you are in wide-legged child's pose, you always want to have your hands in front of you. Otherwise, you could face plant, right? All right, so now we're going to take it to the left. So go ahead, inhale, and then bring your right hand, if you can. No, it doesn't have to. Bring it to the top of the left. Again, we're looking for this nice long stretch, and it should feel good. And go ahead and breathe. Again, yoga doesn't have to be about an hour-long sweat fest. It can be as simple as 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay, inhale, and then exhale, and come back. So we should feel a little bit less tight, okay? Because now we are going to be going to the wall. So we need a wall. If you don't have a wall, find a wall. And when you have baseboards, it does make it a little odd, but nonetheless, you can do it. So now, what we're going to do, there's no dignified way to do this if you're able, but basically all you're doing is you're going to bring your bum, okay? So you want to get to the side here, again, assuming you can. You got to get on the ground and literally have your bum on the wall the whole time, and to the point where it feels like you're squished, okay? Then you're going to lay down, okay, and don't lose your bum. Just keep it on the wall. And then you basically touch the wall the whole time, okay? And again, if you have a big baseboard, your bum's going to unfortunately come a little bit away, but it will still work. Okay, so now, yes, you can see me. You can see my legs. So, legs up the wall. This is our peak pose, believe it or not. And what this is we're using gravity. Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna, well, it'll have to work. We're gonna be up here for a while. This is like where we're gonna stay for a while. So this is a very wonderful way to relax if you have a lot of, tension, if you're just not able to get to sleep. You can obviously, if your bed's by a wall, you can practice this. So legs at the wall has some really cool properties about it. First and foremost, if you did not know this, whenever your back of your head is flat and flush against something, i.e. like a pillow or like the floor, it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, i.e. your rest and digest. And that is why you often will get sleepy, okay, once you do leave your head, rest your head somewhere. So this is already starting that process. Now, once you've had your legs elevated, now what's happening is that if you haven't figured it out already, make sure you keep a little bend in your upper bend in your knees, and that your feet are flexed. You're always going to have your feet flexed for the time that we're on the wall. Now that your feet are over your head, that means all that blood is starting to rush back into your head, as well as your heart. But the whole concept is that we're trying to give a lot of oxygen to our brain, okay? And by bringing our legs up, all that nice oxygen, all that wonderful blood is starting to come back a lot faster into our torso and then into our head. So you can simply stay here and you will get a massive benefit of self-love. Okay, like this is so cool when it comes to getting back into yourself. If you have someone with you, or if you have something heavy and it's not going to hurt you, you could actually have something heavy on your feet. And then it brings an additional amount of nice compression, because now your back, right, is going to be even more pressed to the floor. And that's what we want. We want our bum to be right on the wall. So this alone, hopefully, has started to ease you. Okay, hopefully you're feeling a little bit more relaxed without even doing anything. We're using gravity. Okay, gravity is basically not just sending our blood back into our brain, but it's obviously taking away, it's pushing down, so it's giving us, again, compression without us even trying. There's no uh, effort on our part. Gravity literally is just pushing us more towards the floor. So we'll take a few breaths here, and then we're going to move our legs a little. And it's okay to be audible when you're breathing, especially in yoga. And if this is a little difficult, you can put something underneath you, okay, to give you like a little kind of diagonal. But in this case, we're just working with what we got. Now, I just realized that I don't have a wall all the way to me, but that's okay. It's gonna work. Now, what we're gonna do is we are going to take our legs apart. Why? Because I want you to I want you to gain mobility, and one way to do so without a lot of pressure, right, is literally to let gravity do so. So that's why I wanted you to get into the wide-legged child's pose. So now what we're going to do, with always keeping, okay, that bend in your knee and our feet flexed, you're going to start taking your feet away from each other. And as you do so, what's going to happen is that hopefully, unlike me, you're going to have enough wall. And then when you get to wherever that edge is for you, and I can't go in really anymore because of that table, but I really can, is you're going to put your hands above, okay, not on the knee, but above your knee, and you're going to let it, and I'll let this leg go a little bit further. I want you to be symmetric though. I'm just doing this for you. I don't think you can see my leg. Oh yeah, you can. Okay, so hopefully you are more symmetric than I am, but you want to have your hands pressing against right above your knee. And this should feel a little interesting. You're going to feel it, obviously. I want you to feel it in your groin area and the inner thighs. And the idea is simply that we're trying to gain mobility, right? And flexibility. But there's no effort on our part other than us just keeping our legs towards the wall. Gravity is now pushing down. If I didn't have this obstruction right here, my legs, you would be able to see them little by little. You would see my feet moving closer and closer down the wall. If you haven't already experienced this, then just wait a few more seconds because you should feel it. I can tell, even though my left leg is not up against a wall altogether, I can still feel the tug of ever so slightly. It's going down, down, down. And again, it's not about how far you go. It's literally just letting your body use gravity to give it the mobility that you want to see and the flexibility. But what's cool is that when you do this, your tailbone automatically kind of tilted up, and that's what we want because we want to keep our bum as close to the wall as possible. Okay, and there's no effort here. Like, yeah, we're pushing, but it doesn't have to be a hard push. We barely just have to be there, and it's gonna work. And you can go ahead, take some deep breaths in, and exhale out. See if you can go a little more with just a tiny little bit of effort. Go ahead, inhale, and then exhale. And one more time, inhale, and then exhale. Now we're going to go ahead, come back. So bring your hands behind your knees and then bring them, okay, towards each other again. And believe it or not, we are just about finished. If you want to take Shavasana, our last pose, like this, you actually can. Again, this is a relaxation pose. Legs up the wall is a wonderful way to relieve pressure. Okay, so you can stay here if you wish. If you want to go into a more traditional, like, you know, quartz pose, and if you have, like me, something kind of slippery, my travel mat is very slippery. You can use the wall to push yourself away from it, or you can come out of it the way you came in, right? Get to your side, or you can even stay right in fetal pose. But we're gonna go ahead and move into our final pose. I told you that it was gonna be short, and yes, you can still see. So assume whatever uh, shavasana pose you wish. I'm going to go with the more traditional type. You go with what works for you. But you should already be in a state of calm. All right. This is just the finisher of, again, a very short but sweet and effective slow flow that hopefully you could perform like me in a hotel room if you wish, and feel rejuvenated or at least calmer. So if you wanted to fall asleep because you're not, let's say it's a different time zone or something like that, this at least puts you in a better state of mind. So adjust how you need. And let's really enjoy this last pose. Let go of your breathing. Let it happen naturally. And I'm not going to say much, okay? Every now and then I'll ask you to come back to your breath, but we're not changing our breath. We are letting it go. Let it go naturally, flow naturally. And all I'm going to do is cue you every few times to return to your breath. So here we go. If your mind has wandered away from your breath, gently bring it back. Come back to your breath if you're wandering in your brain. If you want to stay in Shavasana, I invite you to do so, or pause the video if you're watching this later. If you're ready to move on with me, let's go ahead and wiggle our fingers ever gently, ever so gently, and wiggle those toes, gently waking up your limbs again. Let's go ahead and roll our wrist one way. If you hear popping, it's okay. Go the other way. I don't know if you can hear all the popping. And then, however you wish, go ahead and take a nice stretch all the way from your tippy toes to your heart, to your fingertips. Let it go. And with your eyes still closed, let's go to the side. Looking at that body. And when you're ready, use your hand to prop you with your head coming last. Come back same. And keeping your eyes closed one little bit longer. And with your hands in prayer, if it resonates with you, bring your hands to your, or I should say, your hand to your third eye and bow. Namaste. And blink your eyes open. I enjoyed it so much. I hope that you did too. Forgive my crazy hair. But that is our yoga flow. Again, it was a short one, but I wanted to give you the opportunity again to realize that yoga isn't always about sweat fest, and you can practice yoga pretty much anywhere, okay? In your bed, using a wall, in a hotel, it doesn't matter. It's what's going to give you the serenity that you require at any given moment. Obviously, when you meditate, that's a form of yoga, right? And you don't even need to be on a mat. You can practice meditation wherever you wish. Same goes though for PQ reps, right? You don't have to be on a mat. You don't have to be sitting down. You can be walking. You can utilize these tools for instantaneous and natural boost of energy. And that's what we're here for. Okay. So we will see you next month on the 31st of March. But let me know what you thought in the comments. But also send me, any comments. Let me know what type of yoga you're into, and I'll see if I can't get it incorporated. All right. So for now, take care, take charge, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.